Shalom. All praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ruach Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the hopeful elect Archium that are teaching this word. Shalom Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ruach Kodash. Now, basically, this is a video I come across on the social media, and pretty much he's going into the five African tribes sold the most during slavery, right? And they all come from where? West Africa, right? Which we know a lot of the Jakes, a lot of Israel in America, in the Caribbean island, they predominantly came from, West Africa, because our people fled in there. Not just West Africa, because obviously we know Jake got taken from Europe also, Portugal, Russia's far east, Turkey, because we were going down all over the world. But what they, Esau's scholars, you know what I mean? They're all predominantly, because they don't want to admit that Jake ruled Europe and all that. But pretty much, a lot of Jake's was taken from West Africa, but there's spiritual context behind that, and also, historical context. That's 70 AD. When we fled because of Roman persecution, we fled all over the world. And Africa, according to the Bible, is the land of Ham. So Jake did flee in the land of Ham and set up strongholds all over that landmass, right? Of the Hamites, but predominantly set up in West Africa, man. So let me play this here, and I'm gonna read some scriptures, in the Deuteronomy 28, etc. So let me play this here, and then I'm gonna read some scriptures, because a lot of Jakes, you see these West African Jakes from these countries, they look no different to a Judah or actual African, so-called FDAs, all of that. Judah, basically in America, or Benjamin in the Caribbean island. You see it, they look no different. Even there's someone that I know that speaks what they call in Nigeria Pidgin English, right? And Pidgin English is basically like Patois, a Jamaican Patois, basically. Patois, you get it? So, yeah. And he understands it too. So, yeah, anyway, but that's all spiritual. But let me play this here.
No African tribe had more of its people sold into slavery than these 5 tribes. Number 5 will shock you. Number 1, the Mandika. The Mandikas can be found in Senegal, Mali, and Gambia. They were the first West Africans to be captured.
Yeah, I'm going to play the rest of this like Malcolm X. Malcolm X's father was from Senegal. Malcolm X, his father, had roots in Senegal. Yeah. And I believe even Chris Tucker, I remember he did something on a TV, etc. And he basically came out that he had roots in Cameroon, I think it was. So, yeah. But yeah, Malcolm X, his father was a so-called Negro that had roots to Senegal.
By European slave traders. Number 2, the Igbo. From southeastern Nigeria, known for their strength and resilience, the Igbos were shipped to the Americans, especially to Jamaica and Virginia. Number 3, the Yoruba. From southwestern Nigeria, their people were sold in large numbers to Brazil and Cuba, where the Yoruba religion still lives on as Santeria and Candomblé. Number 4, the Akan. In current-day Ghana and the Ivory Coast, the Akan, including Ashanti and Fante, were heavily traded through the infamous Cape Coast Castle. Number 5, the Congo people. From current-day Angola and Congo, they were the largest groups enslaved during the transatlantic slave trade. Shipped many.
Now look, some of these guys you see in them pictures could be straight up Hamites anyway, man. Because remember, Africa is the land of Ham. So Jake, yeah, did go up in there. There's a lot of Jakes in West Africa, but look, man, there's Hamites there too. Let's be real. We got to balance it out. But we do know predominantly, that a lot of them be Jake. But you have to balance it out because you are going to have, Hamites from those lands also, right?
Brazil and the Caribbeans. No African tribe.
Yeah, let me read now the curses that befell our people. All right. So this is also even in Nigeria, I believe the current president in Nigeria, his name's Tinubu, right? And that specific guy, that specific president, his line goes back to black enslavers, right? She's like I forgot her name, Madam Tinubu. I think she's like his great grandmother. Once somewhere down his line, and she's like one of the she's an evil witch, let's say, man, and she sold a lot of Negroes in slavery. So they're Israelites, but they helped to put the Jake in captivity. They helped to put their own kind in captivity, man. And that goes back in the history. And that's a real wealthy family over there in Nigeria. I saw it. I've been checking some stuff out. But anyway, let me read this. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there thou shalt be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy thee. Yeah, that's the Lord bringing us into captivity by way of ships, man. The transatlantic slave trade. And where, like I say, Esau's textbooks will predominantly show the slave trade. It was the triangular slave trade taking place predominantly West Africa, but it was all over the world. It was all over the world. But a big part of it was West Africa. Yeah, that's true. So this is the scripture that breaks that down. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. What's Egypt? Egypt is bondage, man. Captivity. What was the first Egypt? The deliverance that we had through Moses, man. All right, when we were enslaved under Pharaoh. So Egypt is synonymous with bondage. So the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Yeah, we're not going to see what again, man? We're not going to see our lands again. Because we have not been in our homelands for generations now. Which is, what's the homeland? The state, the land, well, I said the state. The land of Israel, man. Jerusalem, all right? Israel is our land, okay? And we ain't seen that for generations now, man. We've been in captivity. We've been in America. We've been in Cuba. We've been in Spain, Portugal, wherever our people at, man. Angola, predominantly Babylon the Great, America, Puerto Rico, all these places we've been in captivity, man. Dominican Republic. So when the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there thou shalt be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Yeah. And what happened when we got to the shores of America? Really all over the world, but when we got to, what happened in England also, all of that. But what happened when we got to the shores of America? Babylon the Great. We were sold, man, to our enemies. Who's the enemies? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. We were sold, man, on auctioning blocks. We were the first, basically, stocks and bonds were slaves, basically, man. So-called Negroes, man. Black folks, man, were sold on auctioning blocks. This is history you can't take away, all right? And they knew as well where they were getting from, because there's even those old Negroes for sale signs, and it will say Igbos for sale, because the Igbos in Nigeria, a lot of them be Jakes, man. And I'm thinking of one right now. He's a real two-third, man. A real two-third. Someone in the world, man. A real demon, man. But he's a Jake. I ain't going to take away from the fact. You got to separate your emotions from facts. So the fact is, we were sold on auctioning blocks, man. For bondmen and bondwomen. Bondage in bondage by our enemies, man. That's how we know who we are, man. And that's how we know that a lot of them West Africans also are Israelites. That's a fact. All right. This is Isaiah 22, right, and 17. Behold, the Lord will carry thee away with a mighty captivity and will surely cover thee. What's that mighty captivity? That's the transatlantic slave trade, man. That was a vicious, mighty captivity. It was a massive captivity, man, we were under. All right. And it's historically known around, everyone knows that. The bondage, the slave ships, that horrific journey, man, from one end of the world to the other, man. So the Lord will carry thee away with a mighty captivity, and will surely cover thee. He will surely violently turn and toss thee like a bull into a large country. Yeah, man, is that not what happened in captivity? Yeah, you damn right it is. We were tossed and turned in the ships violently, man. He will surely turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. Yeah, there shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of thy Lord's house. So we were brought from one end of the world, violently tossed and turned, man. All right, like it says here, like a bull in a large country. So we were violently tossed and turned in those ships, man. You see, and we were brought to our lands of oppression in shame. That's historically what happened, man. But what did the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai say? He said, that was a punishment. You read, I read Deuteronomy 28:68. When you read from 15, it goes into basically why these things will take place, right? So it took place because, we basically sinned against the Lord, so he brought us down. And that was that's in recorded history, that's one of the worst, is the worst captivity ever. It says that in Jeremiah, actually. It says, no nation has suffered the things that of Jerusalem has suffered, basically. So that was one of the worst captivity ever, basically, man. And no nation suffered that. So that was a judgment from Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, because guess what? He brought us down in a devastating way and brought us into all our lands of our enemies, letting the enemies have their way with us, right? Tonight, now where he's gonna raise us back up. See? Because now is the times we're living in a day of our glory. We went out in shame, we like generations, hundreds of years ago, like 400 or 500 years. Well, slavery wasn't even that long ago when you think about it, man. It wasn't even that long ago, really, when you think about it. You see? So this is, I'll read it here, actually. So this is Jeremiah 16. So yeah, slavery wasn't even that long ago, really, man. I mean, there's people still alive today with grandparents and like great-great-grandparents and great-great-grandfathers still were on plantations, man. That shows you how close this was. This weren't thousands of years ago, man. This is pretty much, what was that? I check that after. This is pretty much recent history, right? This is pretty much recent history, man. What's captivity? This is recent history, man. So you really think, pretty much Esau's got to pay for this, man? But that's what I was going to get into, really. The so-called white man's got to pay for this. But what's happened is we live in this new world order, this amalgamated society, where Esau's like diluted history, etc., etc. But the Lord don't forget, man. The Lord don't forget. So let me read this here. Right? Jeremiah 16:14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel, right? Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Yeah, it ain't no more going to be said, because that's a great, historically, that's a great salvation, that deliverance from out of Egypt, man. Historically. It's never forgotten. People still talk about it today. Moses delivering Israel from out of the hands of Pharaoh. All right? The wicked oppressor Pharaoh. Moses delivered us, So that was a great salvation. So, but it says here, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said that the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. What's the north? North America, man. So this is the new salvation that's coming. So we went to America. Everyone knows when people think of slavery today and they think of the slave ships, guess what? The second part of after that is where do they think? America. Even though we went all over the world, you got 40% of Jake, they say, went to Brazil, etc., etc. Right? Brazil and South America and all that. But guess what? People think of America, which is Babylon the Great, the North country, man. The children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whether he had driven them, and I'll bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Yeah, because he's going to deliver us from America and all over the world where he's scattered us and bring us back to our land, which is Israel. You know what I mean? So it's like a full circle thing, man. We were in the state of Israel. Well, I keep saying the states. It's all on the news. That's why, man. It's Satan too. But we were in our homeland, Israel. The Romans persecuted us. We fled all over the world, fled into the land of Ham, into West Africa, set up colonies there, set up societies there, so I say. And then future down the line, we were brought to where? The North Country, that triangle, man, to the Americas. And then now we're going to get ready to go now all the way back to our land, right? Through the power of Yahweh Shai, the deliverance, the chariot. So that's what it says here. But the Lord liveth. So this is going to be a new great salvation that the world ain't going to forget. It's going to eclipse Egypt. So the old Egypt, not to say it will be forgotten, but it's going to eclipse the destruction of Pharaoh, and this deliverance is going to eclipse that, right? But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all lands whether he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. And that's our land. The land of Israel is the land that's the land of our fathers, not Nigeria, Ghana, etc., which are places we set up establishments, but that's not our land. You know what I mean? Not Portugal, not Spain. Even though we rule those lands, you still got our people there. That's not our land. Our homeland is Israel. I mean, the world is ours. The world is yours. You know, when you look up at that blimp, Salakia. Yeah. So the world is ours, right? But the land, our homeland is Israel. Oh shit, what the fuck? The fuck is that, man? Your system is infected with 3 viruses. What the fuck? Yo, that's Satan, man. Yo, that's Satan, man. But the Lord liveth, that's Satan, man. Yeah, I know there's demons active out here, man. There's demons working, bro. But the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands wherever he had driven them. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Babuk Shah, Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, protect us. I know there's demons. There's things going on at the moment, man. Bring them again into the land that I gave unto their fathers. All right? That's right. So that's what's getting ready to happen. So let me read this here. Revelation 13 and 9. It says, Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Right? So that's the future of the people that put us in captivity. That's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They killed us with a sword. They led us in captivity, and it's getting ready to happen to them. But it also falls on all the other nations also, man. They've led us in captivity, and now they're going to be put into captivity, man. You know? So, with that, I'm going to say all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of great millstone. And shalom to the hopeful elect Akim that are teaching his word. Shalom, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahasham, Ruach Kodash. Shalom.